Hey YouTube, it's going to be another Meier video. So let's get to discussion. Alright, so mostly all the stuff I've covered of Meier, the stuff I know is that she got bullied in school, got taunted at school by boys, and boys should know how to respect the lady and a girl. But boys would stomp behind her in line calling her a fat cow and an elephant, and I would have stood there and turned around and flipped them off and told Megan to ignore them. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. They probably aren't because they were down. They probably felt down about themselves. This is why a lot of people pick on a lot of other people, is that feel that they feel that their life is perfect when their life really isn't. They were probably making fun of Megan because they had nothing better to do in life. They're probably bored, stupid, and everything. Alright, here we go. So it says, what you are about to hear is the Megan Meier story. She was 13 and he was 16. He added her on MySpace and he was cute. No, he was hot. So what they did was they picked up a picture of a good-looking boy from Florida who was a surfer, or who looked like a surfer, who played the drums and played the guitar, or played the drums. My friend is a drummer. I know a drummer. Yeah. One of my friends is actually a pretty good drummer, and he plays with a band. Alright, here we go. The Megan Meier story started when Megan was 13. Megan, a 13-year-old with ADD, to her mom, very excited about the fact that a hot teenage boy named Josh Evans sent her a friend request. Mom asked her if she knew the boy. And it was kind of like this. She asked Megan if she knew the boy. Excuse me. And then Megan answered in the negative that she didn't know him, but her mom was wary of the decision, but finally allowed her daughter to accept the request. Megan, according to Allison, her older sister, or her younger sister, was boy crazy. She liked hot boys, hot guys, and like right here. Josh started talking to Megan and told her that he was homeschooled and he had no access to a mobile phone, or so she never got to hear his voice or see him in person, but she was smitten. The boy was irresistible. I've never heard this word before.
Smitten.
The particular of smite. Strike with a firm blow. She was smitten. The boy was irresistible. For a girl who had ADD with depression and weight issues, Megan was in therapy, but still a happy, easygoing kid who loved people and tried to work on her issues. Kind of what I did. I've lost like 30 or more pounds just recently, and I've battled with depression and with anxiety now. That's even worse than depression, probably. She was very heavy for years and had tried to lose weight. She had attention deficit disorder and battled depression back in 3rd grade. She had talked about suicide, Tina says, ever since she had been seeing a therapist. I would talk to Megan about this if she was still here and tell her I have autism disability, minor intellectual disability, and attention deficit disorder, which is You talk about one thing, then you talk about another. You change the subject too much. You change the subject. You change from one thing to another thing, to another thing, to another thing. So you get the picture. You just get distracted too easily. I'm easily distracted. Megan had always been friends with a girl who lived down the street. And the relationship between the two girls was always off and on due to several issues her mother saw as normal teenagers are always hot and cold about everything, she thought. For several months, all Megan did was go to school, rush home to go online to talk to Josh. She was happy, she was glowing, and she was in love with a boy who told her she was pretty. And Megan really is a pretty girl. On Sunday in October 2006, Megan received a message from Josh saying he didn't know if he wanted to be friends with her anymore because he heard she wasn't nice to her friends. Megan asked him what he was talking about, and the next day he replied with hateful messages posting them publicly on Megan's page, and some others had joined the hate party. Before Tina, Megan's mother could get out the door, it was clear Megan was upset. Josh was sending troubling messages and apparently had shared some of Megan's messages with others. So she asked her daughter to sign off of MySpace and left to run a quick errand. She even called her daughter to make sure she had signed off. Megan was saying, "No, Mom, they're all being mean to me." Now, I'm going to be honest. Megan was getting called a fat ass, a whore, a slut, or something, and getting called a freak, and I think Megan Meier fired back and said, "I'm not these things, you're these things," or I think she was using bad language also, which is actually kind of not the right way to respond. She should just ignored it, signed off, and kind of cooled down. Maybe I would have taken her out for some ice cream or a milkshake and told her the truth about Josh Evans, and went to Lori Drew and told her to delete the MySpace, otherwise I'll call the police. You know? Here we go. 15 minutes later, Megan called her mother. By now, Megan was in tears. They're posting bulletins about me. A bulletin survey. Megan Meier is a slut. Megan Meier is fat. Megan was sobbing hysterically. Tina was furious that she had not signed off. Once Tina returned home, she rushed to the basement where the computer was. Tina was shocked at the vulgar language her daughter was firing back at people, so she probably said, like, "Fuck you," or "Go fuck yourself," maybe. I don't know what kind of language she would have used. Maybe fuck, shit, bitch, or something like that. That's what I'm usually thinking, but I don't know necessarily. I would say that Megan would probably say something really bad, and she said, "I'm so aggravated at you for doing this," she told Megan. Megan Meier's story takes a turn. Megan ran away from the computer, but not without telling Tina, "You're supposed to be my mom, you're supposed to be on my side." On the stairway leading up to her second story bedroom, Megan ran into her father, Ron. "I grabbed her as she tried to go by," Ron says. "She told me that some kids were saying horrible stuff about her, and she didn't understand why. I told her, it's okay. I told her they obviously don't know her, and that it would be fine." Megan went into her room. Ron was downstairs in the kitchen, and Tina talked about what had happened, the MySpace account, and made dinner. Tina recalls the moment. "I got this god-awful feeling. I ran up into her room and she had hung herself in the closet. Megan died the next day, 3 weeks before her 14th birthday. Later that day, Ron opened his daughter's MySpace account and viewed what he believes the final message Megan saw, one the FBI would be unable to retrieve from the hard drive. It was from Josh, and according to Ron's best recalculation, it said, "Everybody in O'Fallon knows who you are. You're a bad person and everyone hates you. Have a shitty rest of your life. The world will be a better place without you." And I think when he read it, the message disappeared and it said this MySpace no longer exists. So when he read the message, I think it disappeared. Because while I was watching The Web of Lies, he said the account was deleted because he was trying to smash the enter key on the movie to find her. In the episode The Web of Lies, he was trying to find Josh Evans' MySpace. It is worth nothing, while the MySpace has over 9 pages, terms and conditions, prohibits lists of illegal contact, including material and hate speech. It does not do enough to protect young users from the effects of cyberbullying. What I do to people who have bullied me in the past is I block them off of my Facebook. I don't use MySpace anymore. But what Megan should have done is block Josh Evans right at that minute, and then her mom should have, and then she should have talked to her mom, and then her and her mom would have worked stuff out, and they would have calmed each other down, and and her and Allison could have talked, because Allison ran upstairs and cried. Allison was crying about remembering that she walked upstairs and saw her sister. Of course, she loves her sister. And Megan's parents were just trying to message. Megan's parents began trying to message Josh Evans. And the alleged reason behind the hateful words that drove Megan to suicide, just to tell him the power of his mean words. They were shocked to realize his MySpace account had been deleted. They must have heard, the Drews must have heard that Megan must have killed herself, so they got rid of the MySpace and got out of it. And then later the truth comes out. 6 weeks after Megan died, on a Saturday morning, a neighbor down the street, one they didn't know very well, called them and insisted they meet that morning at the counselor's office, the Northern O'Fallon, Missouri. Northern O'Fallon, their hometown. The neighbor down the street, a single mom with a daughter the same age as Megan, had informed the Meiers that Josh Evans never existed. She told the Meiers that Josh Evans was created by adults, a family on their block. These adults, she told the Meiers, was the parents of Megan's former girlfriend, the one whom she had a falling out. That neighbor told the Meiers that her daughter, who had helped carpool with that family, that Meyer's daughter had that her daughter had carpooled with that family, was involved in creating the phony MySpace account, and had the password to the Josh Evans account, who had sent out one message, the one received later and retrieved from the hard drive the night before she took her life. She had been encouraged to join the joke, the neighbor said. Okay, so I want to say this. Sarah should have known what she was doing, and Lori should have, but Lori didn't seem to give two shits. She said on the news that she made that she was in on this MySpace, but her lawyer attorney said no. But she probably bribed him to say no. She also said her daughter feels guilt for not saying something sooner and writing that message. Her daughter didn't even speak sooner because she'd known the other family for years, and she thought what they were doing must be okay because after all they were trusted adults. On the night the ambulance came for Megan, the single mother said before it left the Meyer's house, her daughter received a call. It was from the woman behind the creation of Josh Evans' account. She had called to tell the girl that something had happened to Megan and advised the girl not to mention the MySpace account. According to Tina, Megan had gone on vacations with this family. They knew she struggled with depression and that she took medicine. Yeah. And according to what one of these 18-year-olds did, Ashley Grills said that she said the world would be a better place without you because she wanted to end the MySpace. She wanted Lori, or no, she wanted Megan to get angry so she'd leave Josh alone, but unfortunately they did the worst things. She wanted to get Megan to feel like she was liked by a boy and let everyone know there was a false and let everyone know this was a false MySpace and had everyone laugh at her. I don't feel the irritations for her to kill herself, but that is how it ended. The interrogation, something like that. In the Megan Meier story, no criminal charges are filed against any, I can't pronounce that word, in the Josh Evans hoax, partly because there are no laws to criminalize these kind of behaviors. Participate. So it means a person who takes part in something. Participate. I couldn't pronounce it for a minute. Participate. The Meyers do not plan to file a lawsuit. Here's what they want. They want the laws changed and the federal so Megan Meier's story is not repeated. It has been repeated 2 more times. I don't know if Amanda Todd or Phoebe Prince ever heard about Megan Meier. Four years later, Phoebe Prince committed suicide, and then 3 years later, not Tina, I'm trying to think. 3 years later, I think Tina must have heard of this one. Everyone's heard of this one, I heard. Amanda Todd killed herself, and I don't know if she heard about Phoebe Prince or Megan Meier. Megan Meier happened in 2006. Phoebe Prince happened in 2010, then in 2012. Oh, that was 2 years after. Yeah, 2. Not 3. 2 years later, Amanda Todd killed herself. Megan Meier hung herself with a belt. Phoebe Prince hung herself with with a scarf, and I don't know what Amanda Todd did. I think that I think she I think Phoebe Prince tied her scarf into a knot and hung herself. And I think her sister tried to undo the knots. Can't find the information here. Two hours before she committed suicide, she did that. Amanda Todd did that heartbreaking video. I wonder if she hung herself with a belt, because that's what Robin Williams did, and Robin Williams was another death. He suffered from depression, and that's actually kind of sad that Robin Williams would suffer from depression, because Robin Williams was actually one of the funniest actors that you could ever look up. She drank bleach, and then she tried to overdose, and then she finally hung herself. I wonder if she hung herself with a belt as well. The Meiers have since then taken upon themselves to educate teens at youth and about bullying and cyberbullying. They created the Megan Meier Foundation to share Megan's story, to send one essential message. Megan did not die for nothing. Her tragic story should continue to be a reminder, and should continue to be a reminder against evil waves of cyberbullying and bullying, and taking lives all over the globe. According to the Megan Meier Foundation, Megan Meier's story shared over 126,000 students all over America. It is estimated that Megan Meier's story could be happening to millions this year. Millions of students will face bullying and cyberbullying this year. With the talk of changing and prosecuting the founders of the social media networks, the truth that remains of hateful words against a teenager could have a deadly result, and the scar forever spread the word about the Megan Meier story, and a reminder of innocent lives could get lost to cyberbullying. Don't become a number, and fight against the crime. Fight against cyberbullying. Sign up for our cyberbullying survey here. People have asked Megan or asked Tina why did they let her add Josh Evans, and she said she wanted to build trust with her daughter, of course. Well, her daughter wanted to add him. And mostly the story I know is that Megan was a goofy girl. She loved to giggle. She was a class clown. She loved to hang out with her family. And she was goofy just like me. I was actually one of probably the goofiest kid in high school. I go like this all the time. I'd be like, I took pictures of her like Megan. I'd be like this. I'd be like, I puff out my chest a lot, and they said I look like a rooster. Yeah, I used to do that all the time in high school. But to Megan, I say if I would have been there, I would have saved your life. I would have been your big brother. Well, everyone, stay up to date and subscribe. Stay tuned for some more Megan Meier videos. I'm going to make a handful more, and then I'm going to film a memorial for her next year, probably. Alright, bye. Peace. Stay up to date and subscribe. Peace.